You think you need to decode 1,000 hidden signals to know if she's into you. You think attraction lives in texts and mixed messages and maybe, probably, possibly vibes. But the truth is simpler and sharper than that. Real attraction announces itself the moment she sees you in the greeting in the first 3 seconds before either of you says a word. And most men miss it completely because they've been trained to look for complexity when the answer is standing right in front of them, written all over her face and body and energy. Listen, a woman who is crazy about you doesn't greet you like a coworker. She doesn't nod politely from a distance. She doesn't give you the same wave she gives the mailman. When she's genuinely drawn to you, when her attraction is real and unguarded, her greeting changes. It becomes something more, something warmer, something unmistakable. And if you don't know what to look for, you'll walk right past women who are screaming interest at you without saying a word. Here's what really happens. When a woman sees a man she's attracted to, her body moves before her mind catches up. She lights up, not in some fairy tale way, in a biological, primal, can't fake it way. Her face softens, her eyes widen just slightly. She smiles, and it's not the customer service smile she throws at strangers. It's the smile that reaches her eyes, that lingers a half second too long, that carries warmth you can feel across a room. Her body turns toward you full frontal, shoulders square. She doesn't greet you from the side or over her shoulder. She stops what she's doing and gives you her attention. That's the first signal presence. She makes space for you in her world the second you enter it. And if you're paying attention, if you're not stuck in your head wondering what to say or whether you're good enough, you'll see it. The mistake most men make instantly, you'll feel it. Because real attraction doesn't hide. It can't. It leaks out in the way she holds eye contact a beat longer than necessary. In the way her voice shifts, becomes a little softer, a little more playful, a little more engaged. In the way she touches her hair or her neck, or adjusts her posture without realizing it. These aren't tricks. These aren't games. This is what happens when a woman sees a man she wants to be close to. But here's where most men lose the thread. They see the signs and then immediately doubt them. They second guess. They think maybe she's just being nice. Maybe she's like that with everyone. And that doubt, that hesitation, that refusal to trust what's right in front of you, that's what kills the moment. Because attraction is a conversation. It's call and response. When she greets you with warmth and openness and genuine interest, she's not just saying hello. She's extending an invitation. She's saying, I see you, I'm here, step up. And if you freeze, if you shrink, if you deflect or joke it away or pretend you didn't notice, you're telling her you're not the man she thought you were. Let me be clear. I'm not saying every smile means she wants to marry you. I'm not saying every friendly greeting is a green light. But I am saying this. When a woman consistently greets you with energy, with attention, with that undeniable shift in her demeanor, she's showing you something real. And your job isn't to analyze it to death. Your job is to match it, to show up, to be present, to meet her energy with your own. Now, before we go further, do yourself a favor and subscribe. Not because I need the numbers, because you need the reminders. You need someone telling you female psychology behind greetings, the truth. When the rest of the world is feeding you confusion and overthinking and passive strategies that leave you waiting on the sidelines, hit that button. Stay plugged in. You'll thank yourself later. So let's break down what this greeting actually looks like in the real world. You walk into a room, she sees you. Immediately, her expression changes. Maybe she was neutral, distracted, focused on something else. But the second you enter her field of vision, there's a shift. Her face opens. Her body reorients. She doesn't just glance at you and go back to what she was doing. She holds the moment. She might say your name with a little extra warmth. She might walk toward you instead of waiting for you to come to her. She might touch your arm when she says hello. A brief contact that's familiar, comfortable, intentional. That touch is everything. It's a signal that she feels safe with you, drawn to you, comfortable closing the distance. And here's the key detail most men miss. The greeting lingers. It's not rushed. She doesn't say hi and immediately pivot to someone else or her phone or the next task. She stays in the Interaction. She asks how you are and actually waits for the answer. She laughs a little easier. She leans in. Her body language is open, undefended, arms uncrossed, posture relaxed. She's not creating barriers. She's removing them. That's what attraction looks like. It's the opposite of guarded. It's the opposite of distant. It's warm and immediate and undeniable. Now contrast that with the woman who isn't interested. The greeting is polite, functional. She might smile, but it's surface level. She might say hi, but her body is already turning away. Her attention is divided. She's scanning the room, checking her phone, engaging with someone else. There's no warmth, no lingering, no invitation. And that's fine. That's her, right? But the difference is night and day, and if you've ever experienced both, you know tone of voice that reveals attraction. Exactly what I'm talking about. You can feel the difference in your gut. One, greeting makes you feel seen. The other makes you feel like an afterthought. So why do so many men miss this? Why do they walk past women who are practically waving flags of interest and then obsess over women who barely acknowledge them? Because they've been conditioned to believe that attraction is supposed to be hard, that if it's not confusing, it's not real, that women worth having are women you have to chase and decode and convince. And that conditioning is killing your ability to recognize genuine interest when it's standing in front of you, smiling, saying your name, touching your arm, giving you every green light in the book. Here's the hard truth. You ignore the women who show up for you because you don't believe you're worth showing up for. You dismiss the easy connection because you've been taught that easy means less valuable. So you chase the chaos. You chase the woman who's hot and cold, who keeps you guessing, who makes you work for scraps of attention. And you tell yourself that's passion, that's chemistry, but it's not. It's anxiety. It's insecurity dressed up as desire. And it's costing you real connection with women who actually see you and want you and are ready to meet you halfway. Let me paint you a picture. There's a man who walks into a room and he knows how to read the signals. Not because he studied some pickup artist handbook. Not because he's obsessed with body language charts, but because he's grounded. He's present. He's not in his head. When a woman lights up at the sight of him, he notices. When she greets him with warmth and openness, he doesn't shrink. He doesn't deflect. He doesn't make a joke to ease his own discomfort. He matches her energy. He holds eye contact. He, when her energy changes around you, smiles back. He steps into the moment instead of running from it. He doesn't need to decode anything because he trusts himself to handle whatever comes. Next, he's not trying to figure out if she likes him. He's engaging with the reality that she's showing interest, and he's interested too. So he moves forward simple, clean, confident. That man doesn't chase. He doesn't beg for attention. He doesn't manufacture connection where there is none. But when a woman shows up for him, when she greets him with that unmistakable warmth, he recognizes it, he honors it, he reciprocates. And that reciprocity, that willingness to meet her energy without hesitation or games, that's what turns a moment into something more. That's what builds attraction into connection. That's what separates the men who get it from the men who spend their whole lives wondering why nothing ever clicks. Now, let's get practical. Let's talk about what you actually do when a woman greets you like this. First, you acknowledge it. You don't pretend it's not happening. You don't brush it off. You look her in the eye and you smile. A real smile, not a nervous half grin, not a smirk, a genuine, warm, confident smile. You say her name. You make her feel seen the same way she's making you feel seen. That's the foundation. Presence for presence. Energy for energy. Second, you engage. You don't just say hi and walk away. You stay in the conversation. You ask a question. You make a comment. You create a moment. It doesn't have to be deep. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. How have you been? I was just thinking about you the other day. You look great, simple, direct, honest. No games, no scripts, just human-to-human interaction. Third, you escalate. Not aggressively, not the difference between polite versus personal. Desperately, but naturally, if the conversation flows, you extend it. You suggest grabbing coffee. You make plans. You take the next step. Because here's the thing, a great greeting is an opening, but it's just an opening. You still have to walk through the door. You still have to show her that you're the kind of man who sees an opportunity and takes it, who doesn't wait for perfect conditions or absolute certainty, who moves forward with intention and confidence. And fourth, you stop second-guessing yourself. This is critical. Once you've recognized the signs, once you've engaged, once you've taken a step forward, you don't spiral into doubt. You don't spend the next 3 days replaying the interaction and wondering if you misread everything. You trust your gut. You trust the signals. You trust that if she showed up for you in that moment, she meant it. And you keep showing up for yourself. Because here's what most men don't understand. Women are not trying to confuse you. They're not sitting around plotting ways to send mixed messages. When a woman is into you, she shows it. When she's not, she shows that too. The confusion doesn't come from her. It comes from you, from your fear, from your insecurity, from your refusal to believe that someone could actually want you without you having to perform or approve or chase. And that refusal is the real problem. Not her, not the signals, you. Let me tell you what happens when you start trusting the signals. When you start recognizing genuine interest and responding to it with confidence, you stop wasting time on women who aren't available emotionally or otherwise. You stop chasing validation from people who were never going to give it. You stop confusing anxiety for attraction and emotional investment signs. You start building real connections with women who see you, appreciate you, and are ready to meet you where you are. Your dating life stops feeling like a puzzle and starts feeling like a conversation, a back and forth, a mutual recognition. And that shift changes everything. But it only works if you show up, if you stop hiding behind doubt and overthinking and fear, if you start trusting yourself to read the room, to recognize interest, to take the next step. Because the woman who greets you with that kind of warmth, that kind of presence, that kind of undeniable energy, she's not doing it by accident. And she's doing it because she sees something in you. And your job is to see it in yourself too. Now let's talk about what this looks like over time. Because a great greeting isn't a one-time thing, it's a pattern. If a woman consistently greets you with warmth, if she lights up every time she sees you, if her energy shifts in your presence, that's not random. That's attraction. That's interest. That's a woman who is making it clear in every way she can without being overt. That she wants you to notice her, to step up, to make a move. And here's where a lot of men drop the ball. They see the pattern, but they don't act. They collect the signals like souvenirs. They enjoy the attention. They bask in the validation, but they never escalate. They never take the risk. They never turn the moment into something more. And eventually, she moves on. Not because she lost interest, but because you never showed her you were interested enough to do anything about it. You never stepped up. You never met her energy with action, and she got tired of waiting. Listen to me. A woman who greets you with genuine warmth and interest is giving you a gift. She's lowering her guard. She's making herself vulnerable. She's signaling availability and openness and desire. And if you ignore that, if you greetings that signal strong desire, take it for granted. If you assume it'll always be there, you're going to lose it. Because women don't wait forever. They don't keep showing up for men who refuse to show up for them. They move on. They find someone who recognizes what they're offering and has the courage to reach for it. Or, so, here's what you do. You stop waiting for perfect certainty. You stop needing a written invitation. You stop convincing yourself that maybe she's just friendly or maybe she's like that with everyone. You trust the pattern. You trust the warmth. You trust the signals and you act. You ask her out. You make plans. You escalate the connection. You show her through your actions that you see what she's doing and you're doing it too. That you're not a passive observer in your own life. That you're a man who recognizes opportunity and steps into it. And if you're wrong, if you misread the signals, then you're wrong. So what? You took a shot. You showed courage. You put yourself out there. And even if it doesn't land, even if she wasn't as interested as you thought, you learned something. You practiced. You got a little braver. You moved a little closer to the man you're trying to become. That's not failure. That's growth. But most of the time, you're not wrong. Most of the time, the signals are exactly what they seem. The woman who greets you with warmth and presence and genuine interest, she's into you. And if you match her energy, if you step up, if you take the next step, she'll meet you there. Because that's how attraction works. It's a conversation. It's mutual. It's two people recognizing something in each other and choosing to explore it. Now I want to address the elephant in the room. The guys who are going to hear this and immediately start overanalyzing every interaction. The guys who are going to dissect every smile and every hello and drive themselves crazy looking for signs. Stop. This isn't about becoming a detective. This isn't about scrutinizing every woman who says hi to you. This is about recognizing the obvious when it's standing in front of you. The woman who consistently, repeatedly, undeniably greets you with warmth and interest. Not the polite coworker, not the friendly barista. The woman who shows up differently for you. How confident men respond correctly, who makes you feel seen, who lingers, who engages. That's who we're talking about. And here's the secret. You already know. You can feel the difference. You know when a greeting is just a greeting and when it's something more. The problem isn't that you can't tell. The problem is that you don't trust yourself. You don't trust your instincts. You don't trust that you're the kind of man a woman would be excited to see. And that lack of trust, that core insecurity, that's what keeps you stuck. Not the signals, not the women, you. So let's fix that. Let's rebuild the foundation. Here's what you need to internalize. You are worth showing up for. You are worth lighting up for. You are worth a warm greeting and genuine interest and all the signals we've been talking about. Not because you're perfect, not because you've achieved some impossible standard, but because you're a man who's working on himself, who's present, who's trying, who's real, and that's enough. That's more than enough. That's everything. When you believe that, when you truly internalize it, everything changes. You stop questioning every interaction. You stop doubting every signal. You stop waiting for permission. You start recognizing interest when it's there. You start responding with confidence. You start building connections. You start living. Here's what I want you to do. The next time a woman greets you with warmth, with presence, with that undeniable energy we've been talking about, I want you to notice it. Don't analyze it. Don't dissect it. Just notice it. Feel it. Acknowledge it. And then respond. Match her energy. Smile back. Engage. Take the next step. See what happens. Because here's the truth. The woman who greets you like this, who lights up when she sees you, who makes space for you, and why attraction grows when you don't chase her world, she's not crazy about you yet. But she's interested, she's open, she's giving you the opportunity to become someone she's crazy about. And that opportunity, that opening, that's all you need. The rest is on you. The rest is showing up, being present, being confident, being the man who sees a good thing and has the courage to reach for it. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to be the smoothest guy in the room. You just need to be present, to be real, to be willing. And when a woman shows you that she's willing to, you need to step up. This is where boys and men separate. Boys wait, they hope, they wish, they collect signals and do nothing. Men act, they see interest and they escalate. They take the risk, they put themselves out there. They don't need guarantees, they don't need certainty, they just need enough. And a warm, genuine, consistent greeting from a woman who's clearly into you, that's more than enough. So stop waiting, stop doubting. Stop hiding behind excuses and fear and the idea that you need to be absolutely sure before you make a move. You'll never be absolutely sure. That's not how life works. That's not how attraction works. You see the signs, you trust yourself, you act. That's it. That's the formula. Simple, direct, effective. And here's the beautiful part. When you start living this way, when you start recognizing interest and responding to it with confidence, you become magnetic because confidence is attractive. Presence is attractive. A man who sees an opportunity and steps into it, who doesn't second guesses himself into paralysis, who moves through the world with intention and courage. That man stands out. That man gets noticed. That man gets the girl. Not one behavior that makes her crave you because he's playing games. Not because he's manipulating, but because he's real, because he's present, because he's willing to meet a woman halfway. 2. Recognize what she's offering and offer something back. And that reciprocity, that willingness to engage, that's what builds everything else. Connection, attraction, relationship, all of it starts with the courage to see what's in front of you and do something about it. Now, I know some of you are thinking, why? What if I make a move and I'm wrong? What if she wasn't actually interested and I misread everything? Here's the answer. It doesn't matter, because even if you're wrong, you're not really wrong. You saw signals, you trusted your instincts, you took a shot. That's not a mistake, that's courage. And courage is never wasted. Even if the outcome isn't what you hoped, you grew, you practiced, you became a little braver, and next time you'll be even better. But here's the thing, most of the time, you're not wrong. Most of the time, when a woman greets you with warmth and presence and genuine interest, she means it. And when you Step up. When you match her energy, when you take the next step, she's gonna be there. She's gonna meet you. She's gonna reciprocate because that's what she's been hoping for. That's why she's been showing up for you. She's been waiting for you to see it, to recognize it, to do something about it. So do something about it. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for absolute certainty. Stop waiting for someone to hand you a manual. You have everything you need right now. You have the ability to read the signals. You have the courage to act. You have the presence to show up. All you need to do is trust yourself, trust the process. Trust that when a woman shows you genuine interest, it's real and it's worth pursuing. Let me tell you what your life looks like when you get this right. You walk into a room and you're not anxious. You're not in your head, you're present. You notice the woman who lights up when she sees you. You notice the warmth in her greeting, and instead of doubting it, instead of questioning it, you receive it. You smile, you final mindset shift. Men must understand, engage, you escalate. And something happens. A conversation, a connection, a date, a relationship, all because you had the courage to recognize interest and respond to it. That's the life you're building. That's the man you're becoming. Not perfect, not flawless, but present, confident, courageous, real. And that man, the one who sees a woman's interest and steps up to meet it, that man doesn't struggle. He doesn't chase. He doesn't beg. He connects. He builds. He creates. And he does it all by trusting himself and honoring the signals he receives. You are that man. You've always been that man. You just needed permission to believe it. Well, here's your permission. You're enough. You're ready. You're capable. The woman who greets you with warmth and interest, she sees it too. Now, it's time for you to see it in yourself. So here's your homework. Starting today, you're going to pay attention. You're going to notice how women greet you. You're going to recognize warmth when it's there. And you're going to respond not with hesitation, not with doubt, but with presence, with confidence, with action. You're going to match her energy. You're going to escalate. You're going to take the shot. And you're going to see what happens. Because here's the final truth. You are the answer. Not some technique, not some script, not some magic formula. You present confident, courageous, real. That's what she's looking for. That's what she's greeting you for. That's what she's been waiting for. And it's time to give it to her. Now, if this hit you where you needed it, if you felt the truth in these words, do yourself a favor and subscribe because you're going to need more of this. More truth, more clarity, more reminders that you're capable and ready and enough. Hit that button. Stay plugged in. Keep showing up. You're not alone in this. You're part of a community of men who are done waiting, done doubting, done settling. Men who are stepping up, who are choosing courage over comfort, who are building the lives they actually want. And you're one of them now.